5 strokes to be taken off your handicap this month with simply this information and managing your game around the fact that you have 2 distances per club. You have your good miss and you got your flush shots. And Hogan talked about how he would hit 6 shots to his personal satisfaction in a round of golf. That's 18% satisfaction. That means 82% is good miss. Still hitting greens, still hitting fairways in regulation. And, you know, if you really think about it, if you know what those 2 distances are per club, and we're going to show you exactly how to apply this on the golf course, you should be making more birdies and pars with your good misses. How's that for a novel idea? And you won't hear this from any tour player out there. To this day, Justin Thomas gets upset when amateurs don't take enough club to get to the green when they're playing in pro-ams. It irks the bejesus out of them. And I'm going, well, if you only knew how to coach them for 2 different distances per club, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So this is very important information that's really going to go a long way into helping you score a lot better and taking some money out of your buddy's pockets. We call it Wisdom ROI, little return on investment from Wisdom in Golf. You're welcome. I have a 160-yard par 3 where the pin is. The pin's basically at the back. We just took a little warm up here. And my 9-iron flush is my 160 club, and the pin's pretty much at the back of the green. And we have basically 145 yards to comfortably get onto the green, a little further than the narrowest part of the green. So my good miss with the 9-iron, thin, would be 145, and my flush distance is 157 to 160 carry. So this is a really ideal green for that. If I have a good miss, I'm front to center of the green. I'll take my 2 putts and move on. And if I hit it flush, I'm going to make a birdie. Okay, so let's have a look. So that was an okay miss. There we go. Center of the green, 154 carry. And that puts me, distance-wise, I'm 33 feet from the flagstick. Take my 2 putts, move on to the next hole. So if it's a little more thin than that, it'll be 145, 150. And if it's flush, it's going to be pretty good. Now, if the pin was 157 at the front, now you notice at the front of this green, it's not pretty. The big deep bunkers, and you're basically short-siding yourself. So if the pin was at the front at 160, I wouldn't be taking my 9-iron. But many of you are thinking, oh, when I flush my 9-iron, I hit it X amount of distance. I should always be doing that. I hear it all the time. How come I don't always hit it flush? Wish Mr. Hogan was here to have this conversation with us. 6 shots per round where you're going to hit it flush. So I want to take my good miss with an 8-iron. So now my flush 8-iron is 170. If I mishit that one, I'm at 160 with a nice birdie putt. How's that? That's really important information for you, isn't it? So let's get Sav in here. I think, Sav, your 9-iron is the same distance when you flush it, about 155, 157?
If it's really, really good.
If it's really, really good.
I think for this, I would go 8.
You're going to go 8-iron?
Yeah.
So a nice smooth 8?
Yeah.
So you don't feel the need to strain.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a very, very important part of playing. There are 2 rules that we live by. Never put yourself in a position to strain. So right now at 160, I feel like I can relax with a 9-iron. And never release toward trouble. Okay, so I basically started that on the flag and drew it a little bit back toward the center. instead of starting it over the bunker on the right-hand side and try to draw it back into the pin and get short-sighted once again if I miss. So let's have a look at Sav's 8.
Yeah, so I was hitting my 9-iron before warming up.
Yep.
And the mishits were landing in the bunker. You can see a couple of them
Oh, there
landed
you go.
short in the bunker.
Okay.
So I rather go super smooth 8.
Yeah, I mean, Sav just got her new irons in, so we're,
Still dabbling with the distances.
I got a little extra half club on her now.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have some catching up to do.
Yeah, I know. Not used to that.
So smooth 8?
Yep.
All right. Hitting a nice little draw from left of the pin back to the pin.
Yep.
It's perfect. Wow.
Okay. I just didn't stay with that shot.
Okay. All right.
I am human too, people. All right.
Nice. So that was?
That was like maybe a groove thin.
Okay. I still think, I mean, if the trouble was over the green, well, no, the trouble isn't over the green on this one.
Right.
So, the trouble is definitely short.
Yeah.
So even if you're a little long, you caught that a groove low. The other one was 162.
Yeah.
We can get up and down from the back of that green.
Yeah, and I prefer the feeling and the mindset of swinging extra smooth
Yeah.
than having to
Jump on something.
jump on the 9-iron.
Absolutely.
Let's go 9-iron.
Well, the thing is, if you feel the need to hit it perfectly to get there,
Yeah.
and you feel the need that you gotta go to the max,
Yeah.
you're already putting tension in the machine.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't be ever going there. You got to
No.
feel like you can comfortably get there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like the 8-iron,
I like the 8-iron.
but not to the point where you feel like you're going to have to decelerate.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Good.
Like if I hit a quick 9. So that was a really smooth 9.
Smooth and solid.
Smooth and pretty solid.
There we go.
So it'd be like my 150
Yep.
carry, smooth and solid.
Yep.
But then if I mishit it at all, then we're flirting a little too much with
That's right. So you would feel the need to be perfect
Yes.
with your shot.
Yes.
That's a red light.
It's different here on the simulator than it would be actually in person.
Oh
so
yeah.
in person
I mean,
I
you
would
put a little bit of headwind in there, a little
8-iron all day.
crosswind and all that stuff.
8-iron.
Then yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So Mu, what club are you going to use on this one?
I'm going to use the Gap Wedge.
So he's got a Gap Wedge, and we looked it up, and it's 48 degrees of loft.
Mm-hmm.
So a nice club to use, like the pitching wedge of yesteryear.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So what typically? I mean, you've done some gapping recently with those clubs.
Yeah.
What's your yardage? What's your flush yardage with it?
My flush yardage with it is 155.
Perfect.
Yeah, which is what I need.
Okay,
for that number.
but if you hit it thin, I think it's still going 155.
Yeah, I think it's going to go. So this is the other part. The speed helps me get away with the thin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just say the speed helps you get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's see it. Is that flush?
Yeah, that was flush.
Wow, look at that draw coming right back in. Beauty.
So 160 on a solid flush, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid flush.
Yeah,
That is beautiful. Look at that, 10,000 RPM backspin.
that's wild.
And 1,400 spin to the right. That's another thing too. When you're dealing with shorter clubs, the wedges and the short irons, don't be afraid to have a lot of draw spin on it. The draw spin is a fabulous attribute, especially when you're in the rough and you need to dig one out and you can really close the face. It comes out a little lower. You get a little more distance out of that wedge. And it doesn't typically move a lot. Now, 1,400 RPM with a driver is going to be a snap hook. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
As far as that for you, that right spin.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant spin right there. That's the vast majority, and that's your 12 feet from the flagstick, 11 feet 8 inches.
Yeah, and the height on that was perfect at 130, so it's not flirting with the wind too much.
Yeah.
Well, with your speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I
can
mean,
cut
if you were hitting into the wind at 10,000 RPM, that sucker was going to go up, shoot big time.
Yeah, that's true.
And you would obviously you wouldn't use that club for that particular.
No.
But if you're downwind, that's a major asset because you're coming in high with a lot of spin. That sucker downwind is just going to sit right down. It's beautiful.
That's right.
That's really good. Yeah, that's brilliant because my 7-iron thin is 175 and my flush is 186 to 190. So that would be a perfect solution here. And you can see the pins in the center. And I'm going to need at least that amount. So the bunker's not even in play for me, even if I hit it thin. So I'm not worried. I can go with a nice little draw here, started to the right, because if I go to the left and I'm a little bit long, but to the left, I'm back in the water. So I would rather take my chances and go over the bunker with a nice draw. And if I flush it, I've got a putt coming back toward that pin. So that was thin. Let's see what happens. There we go. Safe. And what's really cool about that little thin shot for me is going to put me at 35 feet from the hole, right? So another great miss. Sav, what are you going to hit?
6. Definitely a 6.
Oh, that was solid. Nice draw. Right to the center of the green. Thank you very much.
Yep, definitely a 6.
So
That's my initial instinct.
That's it. So, I mean, you can't afford to put that back in the water from that pin position.
No, because if I catch it slightly heely with a 7-iron, I'm in the water.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mu, what are you going to hit? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Mu,
Yeah.
how far do you hit your flush pitching wedge?
I hit it's 175.
175.
Yeah.
So if you're a little bit thin,
Yeah.
so we need, carry on that was 173.
Yeah.
You're cutting that short.
That's true.
That would definitely not be the club.
Correct.
So if you hit it a little thin, especially at the rate that you spin it, you
Yeah.
can easily spin that thing back in the water.
That's true.
So you would hit a 9-iron smooth,
Yeah.
right? A smooth 9.
Yeah.
If you do hit it thin, you're at it.
Correct.
And if you hit it a little too flush, well, you're at the back of the green.
Yeah, there's
but you
lots
can
of
just relax with a 9-iron.
Yeah. That's a good call. Yeah, so let's see what that does.
You know, nothing worse than standing over a shot, over water, thinking, man, if I don't hit this perfect, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
It's like, many of you are going to do that today. I don't think that those results are going to be, showing some good scores right now, right? Mm-hmm. So much better to relax with a 9-iron. What's your typical carry with a 9-iron? About 190?
Yeah. 190.
You got 200 yards to the back of the green, so we're good.
Cut that heavy. It's too close to the ball.
All right.
Well, miss hits overall.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's your miss hit.
Yeah.
You're over the water. Over the bunker. Yep. Hopefully that green slopes from back to front. It probably does. Oh yeah.
That was flush.
Nice flush shot right there. There you go, man. It is definitely a 9-iron.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's,
180, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
All right, you're smoking it 184 yards, and it bounced 1 yard forward because you got 8,300 RPM of backspin.
right.
So it's not going anywhere if it lands at the back of the green. You're fine.
Yeah. So
Right?
that's how you play that.
That's how you would play it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a 9-iron for you.
One other thing to point out as well, especially for on-course play on the performance coaching side of things, you never want to be redlining. So when you start your round of golf, you're probably a little nervous. You don't want to redline when you're nervous.
Yep.
And second off, you don't want to redline when you're fatigued at the end of a round. So regardless of where you're at in your round of golf, it's always better to take a little extra than to be redlining and stressing the body.
Exactly. The thing about it too is you were mentioning about ramping up. When you're on the range,
Yeah.
hitting one 7-iron after the other, you get into a groove, and it's easy to be lulled into thinking that, hey, my 7-iron is my 185 or my
Yeah.
190 club.
Yeah.
And then you go out and play with that in mind. And then you got 190 to the pin, you're thinking, okay, 7-iron, I should be able to get there. There's water in front, but I should be able to get there. And then, boom, that tension settles in.
Yeah, because once you're in your round of golf, you're maybe hitting each iron 1 or 2 times per round.
Yeah.
So you're not in that groove like you were on the range.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of unfair to yourself to expect those
That's right.
flush ramped up numbers
That's
when
right.
you're out on the golf course.
That's same applies to the driver, right?
Yeah.
When I ramped up at my feet together 300-yard carry,
Yeah.
I would never be able to do that on the golf course in one swing.
Yes.
It's my ramping up swing.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize about speed training.
Yeah.
And that's why Mu is here. I mean,
Yeah.
so we're speed training to bring up our benchmark ramp up distance.
Our baselines.
So that that's it. So the baselines on the golf course can come up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this year my distances on the course are actually going to be about 10 yards longer than last year
Yeah,
because of the
100%.
work that I've done.
Yep. And, you know, regardless of if you're in the groove of your round or not, you're cooling off in between shots.
Yes.
Whether you're walking to each shot or you're
Yeah.
karting to each shot,
Yes.
you're still taking time off between swinging a club.
That's right.
So you're not at your fully warmed up potentials
That's right.
ever on the golf course. You got to swing smooth.
So for those of you who are high-level players, these two distances are for one shot shape.
Yeah.
So we actually have 4 distinct distances per club that we use. In this case, in my case with the 7-iron, if I go fade on a 7-iron, you're losing about a half club in distance on flush.
Yep.
So that means I've got my flush and my good miss as far as my draw is concerned. Then my fade is basically equivalent to my good miss when it's flush.
Yeah.
And then when it's not flush, it's lower.
Yes.
So I really have to pay attention to the kind of trajectory and shape that I'm bringing into the hole.
Yeah.
So you get a sticky note and you do fade and, fade, flush, fade, good miss. What are those? So you put an F.
Yep.
And flush, fade. I got to use it a different way.
FF,
Yeah.
fade flush.
Yeah.
FM, fade miss.
Okay.
And then DF and DM.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, see, we designed that just for you. Get a sticky note and put those 4 distances on.
Yeah.
And that way you'll never feel the need to strain on the golf course ever again. So if you're standing over the ball feeling comfortable, that means you're feeling capable of performing a decent swing. And that's all we're asking for. So if you put a good swing on the ball and you chose the right option, you're going to score.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
So hope you enjoyed that.
That's actually a good trick because I've experienced it where I get flustered on a golf course and then I don't have all of my
Capabilities?
faculties.
Yeah.
My thinking
It's
faculties.
oozing out of your ears.
So that's actually a really good idea to put it on your club so you know it's there, it's confirmed, and there's no
That's it.
guessing was it that or was it that? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. If it's not clear, you can't let it
No,
go.
exactly.
All right. So hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.